Hi, Kindergarten-Kers.
Tacoma?
Okay, if you have not seen any of our episodes this week, we get to take our masks off.
We do. It's very exciting.
Once the camera comes on to us, we get to take our masks off because we're fully vaccinated. We're over 6 feet apart. We have windows open and fans on, and the CDC and, well, I don't know if it's CDC or our health department says as long as it's only when we're filming and then as soon as we stop, we put our mask back on, then we're allowed to have our masks on.
Yes, it's wonderful to see your face.
It's great to see your face too. So friends, we have a fun day today. But before we get started, let's check in with our zones.
Well, we can do a zone check-in, why not?
How are you feeling today? Are you maybe tired or moving slow? Oliver's in the blue zone today. He's sad.
He's very sad.
Yeah, his bear he loves needs to get fixed, and so I had to send it off to get fixed, and he misses it. Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling too excited or nervous or mad? How are you feeling, Miss Oslin?
I'm in the green zone. I'm good to go. I don't, my energy, I guess, maybe is a little low, but
Doing okay.
I'll be all right. Yeah. How are you?
I'm in the green zone today.
Good.
My shoulder's feeling a little bit better, which
That's
is
what you're
exciting.
Yes.
And let's see. Yeah. So
Good.
I feel, it's still sore, but not
Yeah.
blue zone sore.
good.
Like it's just, it's okay. It's
Good.
getting better, I think. So
Good.
that's really good. Mr. Kevin, how are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Good.
Green. Feeling
Awesome.
green.
It's a
It's a green day.
classroom day.
Hooray. We've had a
And-
rough week.
Ugh.
And somebody
is-
dropped some off. Somebody dropped something off here.
Look
So
at
this
that.
is kind of fun.
Props are fun.
Props are fun. You never know when Mr. Kevin's going to become
Love
the magic
props.
man.
Ooh.
What's in my hat?
Don't pull a rabbit out of that, Mr. Kevin.
No, I won't.
Or a treasure chest, All right, friends.
Let's review our 3 personal standards.
Let's do it.
Today and every day, we agree to
Show respect, make good decisions, and solve problems. Now, one way we are showing respect every day, and I hope that you start to do this at home with your families as well, is to honor our Indigenous lands and peoples. We are standing on land that belonged to someone else for a very long time, and we need to honor the fact that it was their land first.
Yes, and we do that by making this statement. I'm going to invite you to look outside the window if you're able. Look at the sky, look at the trees, your surroundings. Our physical space stands on the historical and ancestral lands of the Puyallup tribe of Indians. We acknowledge the Puyallup tribe of Indians community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. We make this acknowledgement as part of our work to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and white supremacy.
Yep.
There's a lot of really big words and ideas
is.
in that statement. So as we move forward throughout the rest of the school year, but then continuing, because we're lifelong learners, we're going to break down, which means take
Pull
that
it apart.
statement apart and think about what each of those individual big words mean and what the ideas that they represent mean.
And this week we've been talking about elders, which are the people that have come before us, the generations before us. So that might be your aunts and uncles, or your mother and your father, or your grandma and your grandpa, or your great grandma and your great grandpa. Any of those people that were alive before you were alive, those are your elders.
And we're thinking about the elders within the Puyallup tribe of Indians.
And what they did for their generations after them to make sure that this land was fertile and was able to grow things, and they took care of it. They're very, very careful about our land and conservation, and only using what we have to use, and being grateful for it, and understanding that we're all a part of it and it's part of a cycle. So
We'll
just
continue to
understanding
study
that.
Yeah. Speaking of cycles, ooh,
Oh, the science cycle. I love this thing. It's my favorite. Thing is, when I was in school, it was not presented this way. So science actually seemed really boring, because it was like, well, you have a question, and then you test make a hypothesis, and then you test it, you do some experiments, and you're done. And I was like, who wants to pay attention to that? But I have now learned more, because when you know better, you do better.
yes, it's very exciting.
It is. What do we do first, Miss Oslin?
At the beginning of the scientific process, this is when we're really curious and we're going to start making observations, which means thinking about what do we see, what do we notice.
They're going to be doing that today.
Yes, we are. Asking questions about what we see and we notice, sharing data and ideas, and reading about science discoveries.
So much reading.
Which we'll do later this week. We're going to read a book.
And then you make a hypothesis. You make a statement. You come up with an explanation for why you think what you see is happening is happening.
And this is when we start to revise our thinking,
Yep.
where we thought we knew about force and motion. But now that I've done some observation and now I've done some reading
And
I
some
need to cha-
experiments.
and some experiments, it's time to change my thinking because now I know differently.
And then once you've collected everything and you really think you understand it and you know what's happening, you can do a couple of things. You can answer the question you had. You can satisfy that wonder. You can learn more.
Yes.
Or you can solve an everyday problem with that knowledge.
Yes.
Once you know about forces, then you'll understand how to maybe build a bridge so someone can get from an island to the mainland. Or,
How to make your life easier by moving things that are heavy.
without hurting yourself. Because there's a thing called friction, and you can put things underneath that make the friction go away, so it just makes it slide. Phew.
So the question is that we have been thinking about, how do objects move or remain still?
It's a really great
It
question.
really is. Now we have some big science words.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready for our big science word.
The first one. Okay. The first one is force
Force, a push or a pull on,
on something. And
Sorry.
that's okay. When we exert a force, what happens, Miss Oslin? There's
Motion.
motion, which is
The action of moving.
right. So we exert a force on something and it moves, or it's a balance force and it doesn't, move. Because Miss Oslin and I could push on these with the same force and they're just going to stay there.
Ooh, a ramp.
Ooh. Ramps help us get up things.
They do. That's a flat surface with one end higher than the other.
You know what I just realized, Miss Oslin?
What?
We created a ramp here on the table. Look to your right.
There's a ramp right
There's
there.
a ramp right there. Oops. It's all right. We have a ramp in the TV classroom.
We do. And
I totally forgot.
it helps solve the problem of there's some steps behind us.
That's right.
And it might be difficult to move something up the steps, or someone might have difficulty physically going up the steps themselves.
So they go up the ramp.
So they go up the ramp. And that solves an everyday problem.
It sure does. And then we had a slide.
Ooh. A slide is a smooth slope track.
Yeah, and it's a track. So it's meant for sliding down. It's different than a ramp. A ramp is for going up and down. Typically, a ramp doesn't have a really steep curve.
Right.
But slides, on the other hand, they're so much fun.
Yes, they are. Okay, let's review our chant.
Yes.
Now, practice doing this with us.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about the words that we're saying and how that applies to our question of how do objects move or remain still.
I was just thinking when we say forces here, we should pull. When we say forces there, we should push.
I love that idea. Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Forces
here, forces there. Forces everywhere. Invisible forces pulling downward. That's gravity. Unbalanced forces exerting energy smoothly. Momentous forces creating movement powerfully. And opposite forces influencing predictably. We have opposite forces that things push away from each other. Forces around the playground, forces against one another, forces on objects around us, and forces within nature. Forces here, forces there, forces everywhere. Forces. Oh, that was good.
Now, really quickly.
We're just gonna look at this chart.
Really quickly.
And we're
let's
just gonna
look at our-
remind ourselves the different
Yes.
forces, and then we're gonna be done.
Yes.
Are you ready, friends?
Forces.
There's a push. Say push.
Push.
Pull.
Pull.
Magnetism.
Magnetism.
Gravity.
Gravity.
Friction. Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
Push.
Push.
Pull.
Pull.
Magnetism.
Magnetism.
Gravity.
Gravity.
Friction.
Friction.
Okay. What do we
Okay.
get to do today, Miss Oslin?
We're going on a field trip.
Where are we going?
We are going to Wright Park, which is here
Just
in
across the
Tacoma.
street.
Yeah.
And we're going to play on the playground. Now, friends, you're going to hear us say things like third and fourth graders because the third graders were experimenting with forces earlier on in the school year. And Miss Oslin and I were like, our kindergartners understand that forces are a push or a pull on something. They could go on this field trip too. We had a lot of fun.
Had a lot of fun.
Maybe too much fun.
Maybe we got into the yellow zone a little.
It was pretty great.
It was fun.
You're going to see things like a bus going down a slide
You're going to see things like us on a swing.
and us on a tipped merry-go-round.
Yes,
It gets pretty silly.
it does.
But you have a job.
Yes.
So I want you to get out your paper or your notebook or your whiteboard. And here's what I want them to do, Miss Oslin. Are you ready?
Yes.
On your paper, Mr. Kevin, can you show my paper? On your paper, I want you to make a line right down the middle going down. That's a vertical line. Well, it's kind of a curved line. That wasn't very straight. And then in the middle, I want you to make a horizontal line going across. And you're going to make 4-box observation. During your field trip, your job is to write or sketch 4 ways you see forces happening.
Do you see
Just a quick sketch or some words,
if you see a push,
right? Or a pull,
friction,
or you see gravity. There's a really fun time when gravity pulls on Miss Oslin, but then it pulls on Mrs. Wally. You'll see what happens. So that's your job. And then when they're done, they can show their teacher and they can send it to us. Sorry, I got us ahead of that.
That was beautiful. Well
Okay.
done, Mrs.
Thanks, Miss Oslin. So friends, Mr. Kevin's going to tell you how you could send it to the TV classroom. Maybe.
Sure, why not? So why don't you ask your parent or your local adult to help you if you need it, to send us an email to tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us. You can also mail us something in the regular mail. TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Affirmation time before they go on the field trip.
And we're going to remind ourselves that I am observant.
That's
because
right.
you're going to be doing a lot of observing, which means watching and noticing, making connections with everything we just
And-
talked about.
Jotting them down with a sketch or some words.
So our affirmation is, I am observant.
Are you ready, friends? Here we go. I am observant.
Excellent job today, kindergartners. Enjoy the field trip, and we'll see you back here next time in our TV classroom.
Bye, friends. Hey, Tacoma.
Hey, Tacoma.
Here we are at the playground, just like we said we would be.
We're at Wright Park.
Okay, the first thing we want to show you at Wright Park are these 2 structures right here. And they have put in sound making machines.
Doesn't seem like much when you look at it.
No, it just looks like wood.
Some wood.
But we want to talk about why the sounds are sounding the way they are and what happens when we apply more force or less force to the sound.
When we change a variable.
Right. So, Mr. Kevin, I'm going to play on this side. And I'd like you friends to just listen. They even have mallets for you here to play. So, I want you just to listen and then we'll show you the bars. So just listen. How did the sound go from the lower sound to the higher sound? Why did that happen? Well, what do we know? What do we know about sound?
It's made of vibrations.
It's made of vibrations. Take a look at these bars. The larger bar made the lower sound. The shorter bar made the higher sound. Think about our sound waves. The larger the sound wave, the more distance apart the sound wave, the lower the sound. The closer the sound wave, the higher the pitch. The same thing happens with these bars. And underneath, you can't see it, and it'd be really hard to get under, but there are pipes that are living underneath, and they're different lengths. Miss Osmond, can you play on the other side?
Sure. I'll start with the high sound this time.
Okay. Whoa. I'm going to play my lowest sound, and you play your lowest sound.
Those are different pitches.
They're different. I wonder if the bars are different.
Like the size of the bar?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think they are. And the size of the tube, hers are shorter and closer to the ground. The tube is shorter.
Oh.
You do yours. Low to high.
Low to high. Should we compare our highest sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too far. Do you want to go from highest to low?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Go.
Interesting.
They're similar notes, but a different pitch. Hers are lower pitch, mine are higher pitch. Then there's this other really cool object. Come over this way. You can just use your hand. That'll work better.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Why my hand, you could hear it better.
Better with the mallet.
It's better with the mallet. Well, the mallet is a lot sturdier and firmer,
It's made of metal and then rubber.
and it has a really direct source that it's hitting. My hand has lots of surface area, right? What about on this side? What does that one sound like?
Oh,
Oh,
there's two different. Here, so this one.
I wonder why.
What's different about them that would give them a different sound?
Well, this one's higher on the box, and this is lower on the box.
Oh.
I wonder if this box was flipped upside down, if then it would trade sounds.
Oh.
I hope that some of you come to Wright Park to investigate this more.
Yes.
And really decide and see what you think. Why do you think the sounds are changing?
What can you do to make the sounds change?
Huh. What variables can you change? Like, if I go over here and I play with my hand, I can make the sound, but it doesn't sound very good. If I do this,
It sounds more like music as opposed to just
Yeah.
hitting a piece of wood.
and I can do it really light and make it really loud, depending on how hard I'm using my force on the bar, which is causing the vibrations, which is causing the sound. And when I do it not as hard, the vibrations are not as deep. But when I hit it harder, the vibrations go deeper and make it louder. Pretty cool, huh?
Really cool. Why don't you play us one of your songs from your old percussion
Oh,
days?
I can't do that, Miss Oslin. Nope. Sorry, friends. It's been too long. I wish I could. All right. It's raining, but that's the Pacific Northwest.
Welcome to Tacoma.
So we have a bus. We promised you a bus, and we shall deliver the bus. Here is our bus.
Is it what you thought?
Is it the bus you thought? I actually had to hide it in my bag today because Oliver would have been very sad if he found me with the bus, because it's his favorite toy. But we thought we would send the bus down the slide and change some variables about the bus. Let's see if we can change how the bus goes. Now, if I set this bus here on this flat surface, it doesn't go anywhere.
It remains
Balanced
still.
force. But if I go over to the slide and I set the bus, same thing, I'm going to just set it on the slide, it flies off. So what was the force? What variable did we change? Well, that was flat, and this had an angle.
So what force was applied?
Gravity pulling it down the angle. The gravity pulls straight down. So if it's flat, it's going to just stay where it is. But if it's angled, it's going to pull it down. Now, Miss Oslin, we forgot to grab some rocks.
We did.
I'm going to go hunting for some rocks. You can show them parts of the bus.
Okay.
Okay.
I also want to point out the wheels and how the wheels on the bus are very smooth. There's no texture, or there's no bumps on it like you would see on a real school bus. So there would be very little friction. I also noticed that the plastic is getting wet. So I wonder if the rain is going to add a variable and change the speed of the bus. I don't know. I also wonder if we put some weight inside the bus, like thinking about children being in the bus, we could simulate that with some other heavy material, if that would change the speed of the bus going down the slide. Take some think time and think about what variable could you change to change the speed of the bus going down the slide.
Guess what, friends? They do a really good job of making this a safe play space.
So there's no rocks.
So I was thinking, but we could change a variable.
Yeah.
Because I just set it on the slide before.
Yeah.
What would happen if I push it down the slide?
Oh.
What do you think's going to happen if I apply force to the back of the bus? Going down the same slide.
Hope
Let's
I
look.
can catch it.
So,
Oh,
what happened?
I did not expect that.
Let's do it again. Let's see if it happens. It spun around.
Spun around.
Okay, what happens if I set the bus and I apply force to the front of the bus? What do you think's going to happen? Oh!
It started to tip.
It did. I had to slow it down. I actually sped up so it would stop tipping. Let's see if we can get it to tip again. Okay. Force at the front of the bus. Yep.
Oh.
So right there, it's starting to lose its traction, I think, because of the water. There's not the friction there. The water's creating less friction, so it's starting to slide and wobble.
Just like cars do on the road, right?
And notice it doesn't go off the edge.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That is really cool.
What else should we look at, Miss Oslin?
Oh, what about,
Yeah,
we're going to play on
we're
some
gonna play. Okay, Miss Oslin. Bus, you get to hang out. Do we want to get on it or do we want to just spin it?
I'm going to get on it.
Okay, how about I spin it?
Okay. Wait till I get all the way on,
Yep,
though.
we're gonna have you be at a balanced force. Or can you get at a balanced force with just you on it? What happens? Okay, so friends, she's at a balanced force. What do you think's gonna happen if I spin Miss Oslin? What do you think's gonna happen to her body? Is her body gonna stay where it is? Is it gonna wanna go in or is it gonna wanna go out? Which way is the force going to pull? What's your prediction? Ready, Miss Oslin?
There I go.
Oh! Woo! Whoa! What did her body do? Miss Oslin, you're starting to move it yourself. What are you doing?
I am applying a force to the side by using my body weight.
Should I spin you again?
I'm noticing I'm slowing down.
You
Oh,
are.
there I go.
Hang on.
Here we go.
Woo!
Oh, I almost made it.
But why is she slowing down if we're
Why
not
can't I
applying
make
a
it all the
force?
way around?
Huh. I wonder if it would change if we tilted this so it was upright.
Oh. If then I could make it all the way around?
Because it's at an angle, so your force is going to actually, because of gravity, is going to exert more force where you are down here
Then up
than
there.
up there.
I wonder if we start it with me
What
up
if
there.
I sat up there?
Oh.
Shall we try?
Try it.
I don't know if I can get on.
It's slippery.
Is it slippery?
Yeah. Hold on.
You know what we might do?
Oh, there we go.
Is this. Oh, this could be dangerous, Miss
Here,
Oslin.
what if I do this? I'll get down.
Perfect.
You get on, and then I'll jump on.
Okay.
Miss Oslin, I think your microphone's on.
Oh,
I had too much fun playing. Thanks, Mr. Kevin.
Okay.
Is that better? Okay, Mrs. Wally, are you ready?
yep, and I'm gonna apply a force down here with my foot. I'm gonna push us off. Go ahead, you get up. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Oh.
What is going on?
Now Miss Oslin's over there.
We're balanced.
Why did that happen? Before, you couldn't get up there.
I couldn't get up there.
And now, it's
I'm
like
stuck.
a teeter-totter. I have more mass than Miss Oslin does, which means I'm going to be pulled by gravity more than Miss Oslin is.
That is cool.
Let's see if I can get us.
I'd come push you if I wasn't holding the camera.
Ah!
Ah! Whoa! Oh! Almost! We're using our force to try to... Oh, almost! We're trying to change the variable. So I'm getting up really high so I can use my body force. Come on!
I'm leaning really hard.
Okay.
Pulling it.
Yeah, I gotta go up again. We did it!
Did it? How did we make it work?
Whoa! That was so much work.
Oh,
So let's think about the forces we applied. I used my foot on the ground to push us.
you did.
And then if you notice our bodies, we swung our bodies
Trying
So
to
the-
use gravity
and it
so that
finally
we would be
worked.
pulled back down. Is that
But
how we
then-
got it to work?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we ended up back right where we started, not moving again. And in a balanced force state.
We needed more of a force.
That took a lot. Can you hear us breathing? Took a lot of force to get us there. What about swings? I'm gonna let you get down.
Okay.
There you go, Miss Oslin.
Thank you. Oh, this is going to be fun. Here I go. I'm out.
And then I'll go down. Well, that was awesome. All right,
Here we
friends. In a balanced force. We're not moving. So how do we move? You guys do this all the time. You play.
What do you do? How do you start swinging?
What do? You apply a force.
Push.
A push. And then guess what? It pulls us.
Oh.
And then we start to swing. Now, if there was no gravity in the world, we would just continue to swing forever. But we won't. We will stop. And if I want to stop
Eventually, yeah.
sooner, I need to apply a different force. I'm going to apply some friction and see what happens.
Oh. You dragged your feet.
I'm dragging my feet on the ground. Applying friction. I'm not pressing, my feet were just applying friction.
Mhm.
And now I've stopped. So as you're playing, be thinking about how am I getting my body or the thing I'm playing on to move,
Mhm.
and what forces are at play. Now, Miss Oslin,
Yes.
how can we get going really fast on a swing?
You start up higher.
Oh, look at that. She's starting up higher. She's changing the variable of where she's starting. And then she's look at that aerodynamics of her legs. Oh, so she's teetering on that swing. She's pushing and pulling back, using the force of her body to push and pull the swing to create unbalanced force to continue moving. Now, what do you do if you want to stop?
I'm not going to jump out. I'm going to apply some friction.
Another way I've learned to slow down, if I start like this, and I push and pull, what I do is I push and I pull. The opposite force.
Opposite force.
And it goes slower. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Pretty fun.
Very fun.
Or you can just stop it all together
Yeah,
and put your
just
feet down.
Put your feet down.
So when you're
Stop that
playing,
motion.
friends, be aware of the sounds. Now, you don't have to have a sound machine like that. You can use sticks and things on everything around here to make sound. Find the sounds. Find the forces. Science is all around you.
Change the variables to see how you can change the sound.
All right, friends. We will see you next time. Oh!
Oh, we did
Again.
it again. We need our affirmation.
Affirmation time.
I got it.
Okay,
I am fun to play with.
better. Sounds and forces are fun to play with.
Oh,
I can play with sounds and
I
forces.
can play with sounds and forces.
Here we go. Ready? Deep breath, everyone. I can play with sounds and forces. All right, friends. Have a great day.
Excellent job.
See you later. Bye.
Rules. 1. You have 10 seconds to pick your crewmate. 2. A new timer will appear with an exercise for the crewmate you picked. 3. You will get points for each correct crewmate and exercise you choose. 4. You will get bonus points if you pick the leprechaun. 5. If you pick the imposter, you will lose all your points. 6. Use your math skills to see how many points you can get. Good luck!